Hi guys, it's John again with another earnings update, and this is for the month of March. And you can see here the total I got back this month was about $262, which is about £212. And that is a total of 3.43% on my invested balance here. Now I have moved a few things around into the ended or on hold project tab, so we'll go through those shortly. But basically we're earning around $9 a day nearly, so about a fifth of the way to getting to our $50 a day mark. So I'll just run through, as always, what has done well this month and what hasn't done so well. So we'll start off with Helium, and as always this does well with its earnings of HNT. Now sadly the value of HNT has dropped quite a bit since the Binance delisting, so that has affected things, but I'm still getting a 6.74% return with my two hotspots here. So here's my Bobcat miner, and that, as always, does a lot better than my Heltec miner. That's earned 10 Helium in the last month, so that's really nice with 8 to 9 witnesses. So the Helium API is being a bit slow today, so I can't load up my other miner, but basically an earning of about 19 HNT in the month is pretty good. Now what's going to be interesting is what happens with the move over to the Solana blockchain, whether the value of HNT will go up, and also what the value of the mobile token will be. So I'm mining 5G mobile tokens at the moment. If you haven't seen my video on Moken.io, then you can basically rent a miner in the US and get paid a percentage of its rewards. So I've been doing that for about a month and I've got nearly 1 million tokens to show for it. So we'll see how that comes out and whether I turn into a millionaire overnight when it launches. I'm only joking, of course, but it'll be interesting to see how the mobile token does. So that will be added on to my monthly earnings for next month. Next up, we move on to my Flux node. So I do still only have one. So I earn just over 10 Flux, which is about $6, which is a 0.91% return. So not massive numbers here, but it has been stable for the whole month. So that is an indication of how much you'd earn with a Flux node, about $6 at the current price. And that's with Flux at about 60 cents. So it's a good set and forget type thing. You set it up and you forget all about it, and it just sits there earning in the background. So hopefully the value of Flux goes up, and obviously we start earning more with the tokens that we receive. So next up is Mysterium, and you can see how I've actually added a couple more nodes. I've actually added another 4 nodes. So I added some RackNerd VPS nodes, and they cost about $10 each. Someone did mention RackNerd in a previous video. I'll put a link down to them in the description. It's not an affiliate link or anything, it's just that you can get a VPS for a year for about $12. So in the month of March I earned 112 Mist, which is about $30, so pretty good really. If we have a look at my nodes here, you can see exactly how they're performing. So these are my 2 ones that I've got at home, one on my BT line, one on my Vodafone line, and you can see here these earn the most. So the residential IPs definitely earn a lot more than the data center IPs. So you can see here with the little house, you can tell that it's a residential one. Now this RackNerd node here has been at almost a full month, not quite. And you can see here, I still managed to get 2.25 Mist out of it. So that's not bad really when you consider that it's a data center IP. And I set up these other ones a bit later on. It'll be interesting to see how they do in a completely full month of April with those hosting or data center IPs. And yes, I finally got a couple of free Oracle VMs configured and set up. It was a bit hard to get them communicating with Mysterium properly, but I managed to get it sorted in the end. So they've earned a tiny bit. They haven't been running very long, just a week or two for each of those. So it'll be interesting to see how it comes on. And again, although it doesn't earn as much as a residential IP, you might as well have it running Mysterium, as it just uses so little CPU and resources. It's a no-brainer to just get that bit of extra money. So yes, that is a $30 return for March, which is about 14.8% of my initial investment. So don't forget those 2 RackNerd VPSs cost about $10, and the 2 Oracle ones were completely free. So next up is SCPrime, and I actually managed to earn a lot more than I did in the previous month because my Windows node was behaving itself. So we can have a quick look at each node. So you can see here my Windows node. Now it had a bit more storage added to it. It's about 25 gigs since the previous month. You can see here I earned 31 SCP for that 703 gigs in use. And my Linux node here, still 100% uptime, hasn't really had much added, just a tiny bit here. Again, about 22 gigs. So I've got 670 in use, and that earned me 49.6 SCP. Now, sadly, the value of SCP is pretty low. It did go down to about 8 cents, I believe. It has gone back up to about 12. So it's sort of hovering around the 10 to 12 area at the moment. So not massive, but it is a $10 return on my investment, which brings me closer to my ROI for those 2 licenses and boxes that I bought. So hopefully that'll ROI soon, and then I can forget all about it. PlanetWatch is still going somehow, and I managed to get just $10 for last month's earnings. Now, I'm umming and ahhing whether or not to bother renewing the license for my Aware element. I probably won't do with the current value of planets being so low. It's quite depressing to see how low it is. It's gone down 16% in the last month. So yeah, this is looking very bad for PlanetWatch as a sort of investment. But still, if I can keep the Aware up and mounted and just renew the license in the future, then I might just do that if the price ever recovers. So internet sharing apps, what I've been doing is actually adding my additional VPS nodes in to start sharing internet as well. So I know they won't earn a huge amount, but my aim this month is to get all of them running as many internet sharing apps as I can. And then hopefully this will increase a slight amount, maybe $5 or $10, which will be an extra bit in the monthly balance. Nexo and YouHodler still paying out the same amount, about $6 and $5 respectively. So not massive returns, but so someone did get confused last month on my total back here being 3.43%. They said it's better off just going and getting a savings account. I don't think they realize this is per month. So it's not a yearly APR. This is what I got in the month. So just bear that in mind. They may look like small numbers, but compared to a bank, it is still better than what you can get out there. Okay, so Presearch has been a good one this month. You can see here I added another $100 to my investment to get some more pre to make a new node. So I've now got 3 nodes here, and you can see how much they've been earning. Now, you'll notice I don't have any staked pre on my RackNerd VPSs here. That's because if you have a look, every now and again, the RackNerd ones seem to go onto the testnet pool, which earns very little. Sometimes they're on the correct pool, but other times, or a lot of the time, I noticed they were staying on the testnet pool. So I removed my pre from there and just set it up on my Oracle VMs instead. So I've put 4,000 pre staked and 4,001 on my 2 Oracle ones, and they are earning without being plopped into this testnet group. So just bear that in mind if you're running the RackNerd one. If it shows up in the testnet pool, you do get paid a lot less pre. So my pre for the month was 479 with those 3 nodes. Again, they weren't all running to their sort of full potential this last month. So hopefully this coming month, they will be at 100% uptime, going at full speed. So you can see here, even still, that's $48, which is pretty good really. That is a 11.6% return on my original investment. So that's really nice. It does help that the value of pre has gone up substantially. So we can see it's up 18.8% in the last month. So that's really nice to see that Presearch is doing well there. Right, next up is Hydro Whales Club, and as you can see, I've put down $23 here for this month. Now, I'm not 100% sure what it will be. They haven't done the payout yet. They're still sorting out their Polygon payout scheme. So I've put it as the same. It should actually be higher than this. So this is just a sort of tentative value, but that's about a 5% return on my original investment. And yeah, hopefully once they sort out the Polygon withdrawals, I won't have to wait to claim my rewards here, because claiming rewards on the Ethereum network is just so expensive. It's just not worth doing with such small amounts. But even still, that's a nice 5% return on my investment there, and potentially a bit more once we actually get the final result for March. So next up is Horde, and a measly $1.32 here this month from my original $800 investment. They did point out that this is probably lower than it was meant to be because of various things that they've been doing in the background. But yeah, it is quite disappointing, this $1.3. Again, I haven't claimed anything yet because it's just completely pointless with the fees. You're going to barely get anything out of it. So hopefully this coming month things will be better, and we'll have a look at their system in the vault as well in a second, which is still ongoing. 0.17% return, so pretty poor overall in the grand scheme of things compared to everything else we've looked at so far. So next up is JumpTask, and managed to get 1.69 jump, which is about $3.28. So it's a 1.64% return, which is pretty good. Now, the value of jump has actually been dropping a tiny bit recently. It's gone down below $2, which is unusual for the jump token. You can see it's kind of been hovering around $2 for quite a long time, but it has gone below $2 now. So it'll be interesting to see how that gets affected over the next few weeks. But still, it's earning pretty well as a sort of staking protocol at 20%. Can't really argue that. They are making some changes to staking. They have a look in their Discord. I believe they're actually going to get rid of the Fluid Starter staking pool, but I may be wrong there. But just check out the Discord for the details on that. But yeah, it's earned about $3 in the last 30 days, or when I actually updated this, it was just over $3. So not too bad, but nothing really too exciting there. Now I got into the Atomic wallet at the end of last month. Someone did recommend some staking in there, so I do have that. I put a bit of money into Atom, as you can see. So it's generating a 22% yield, which is quite nice. And I do quite like this wallet. You do get the option to stake various different coins if you so wish, and some of the percentages are quite nice indeed. But yeah, that is just where my Cosmos Atom tokens are sitting currently. So that is a 1.68% return, which is quite nice. And the value of Atom, I do believe, did go up quite a bit to over $13, but has dropped back down to about $11 now. So it's been doing okay. And that is a total of $3.35. Another one I got into was PancakeSwap. So if you have a look at the PancakeSwap farms, you can earn some nice APRs and you can get boosters and things, but to do that you need to put in quite a bit. So I haven't got any boosters or anything on mine, but as you can see, I've got some cake and USDT staked here in the pool, and I earned a total of about $2.50 here, which I've popped into here. Not massive, but I haven't got a massive amount in there particularly, and that is still a 1.19% return on the investment, so not too bad at all. It is obviously slightly more risky with the value of cake being more volatile than USDT, but we'll see how it goes. So next up is Element Data, and this is what I set up sort of mid last month. And this was basically giving you the AIQ token on the Algorand blockchain in return for sending your data streams to their servers. Now, sadly, the value of the IAQ token has plummeted quite substantially since I did my video. Nothing to do with me, but basically there were people gaming the system. You can see on the Discord people posting screenshots of just fake aware elements that people had set up in big clusters, and they were just stealing the token basically and just selling it off, which made the price plummet. So it's a bit of a shame, and they have now completely changed the way that this works. So you can see here what's changed since I last did my video on. So the default free account, you can get a maximum of 3 IAQ tokens in total. You can't actually withdraw them at all. You either have to get this bond or starter pack or the premium to be able to start withdrawing. And that's obviously costing fees to do so. So I'm not going to bother with that because this is obviously relying on new income to do the payouts, which is a bit of a shame because it's quite a nice idea to get those aware elements back up and running. I'll keep it running anyway, just because those aware elements only use about 1 watt of electricity, so it's not going to break the bank when it comes to the power cost. And who knows, maybe they can turn around the project and get it into a more sustainable place. Right, next up is my Streamr node, and that managed to get 98 data tokens this month, which is about $3.75 or 1.5% return on my original investment. So this is why this video is a bit late, because I had to wait until today to get to the payout. So you can see here I got 98 tokens paid out into my ledger here, and that's about $3.62. So that seems to be doing the job. It's quite easy to set up. If you haven't watched my video on setting up a Streamr node, I'll obviously put a link to it down below. I haven't got the maximum number of tokens staked, obviously. I could stake up to 20,000, so I've only got 7,000, so I could increase that potentially over the month. So next up is the EasyBackup Farm. So I didn't make a video on this, but basically the Easy Finance team have created a new product called EasyBackup. Have a look at it, put a link to it down below if you want to check it out. But I thought I would try out the farming side of it because the APRs on it were something stupid. So when I first signed up, the APRs were about 8,000%. It's gone down to about 2,500% now. But you basically provide your LP tokens of the Easy coin and USDC, and then you get paid out every day, which you can then claim and then obviously break the LP token and sell it off. Now, I'm just waiting here at these massive percentages and just letting this build up, and we'll see how it goes. The token value has dropped a bit, so it hasn't made a huge amount, but it's made $32 basically over the last month or so. Now, the value of the Easy token has also gone down though, so my LP tokens are now worth $46 less. So I haven't actually made any profit this month as such, but it has actually generated $30 of income. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes again over the next month or so. I'll just leave it in there and see how it looks like at the end of the month. So last up is the Scarlet Chains rebate. So I haven't put any investment in for this one. This is just them refunding the money. So they've refunded $22.95 in the first month. So again, that is a total of $262 for the month of March, about $9 per day or 3.43% on my original investment here. So what have we got to look forward to for next month, and what have I put in here since last month? So nothing else has changed in the ended projects. What I have done is move my Grape and my shared master nodes into here, because Grape is just making such a little amount, it's just not worth me even thinking about it. I'll leave it in here in case it ever picks back up, and I'll bring it back across to the main sheet. Same with Escrow and Monk. Yield nodes do say that their coin values are recovering, so it'll be interesting to see if they actually do. But these two certainly haven't yet. And the newest project I've actually gone into is Aviate, so Aviate.Finance. This is basically a way to invest in trading bots, and they've raised about, I think it's about 1.5 million in their pre-sale, 1.619 million. So the pre-sale is now closed, and they're going to start opening up the bots and doing payouts, I believe, by the end of this week. So it'll be interesting to see how that does over the month. This is all KYC'd and checked by truth seekers, so whether that means anything, I don't know. But the people running it, certainly Josh, the main guy, seems like a nice guy, and I know that means nothing in the world of crypto, but it'll be interesting to see how much the trading bots can do and how much we can make from this $500 investment. So that is coming up for this month, and obviously my Helium mobile tokens as well, to see how they do over the next month or so. I did mention the Horde DEX briefly. Now they are still building the application, I believe, and they've been buying Bitcoin miners and all sorts of things. So I don't know what's going to happen with this, but it's obviously going to be an interesting one to see if they can turn things around back to how the sort of Horde ecosystem used to be. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please do like and subscribe. Don't forget to leave any comments down below as to any other projects you want me to check out, and I'll do my best to do so. I am trying to stay as safe as possible now, as you can probably tell. This is as safe as I can get it, I think, at the moment. I'm trying not to risk anything too much. Obviously, this Aviate one is going to be an interesting one to see if that actually comes through okay. Hopefully it does. And then when the profits from that, I can then start putting, more into data tokens for Streamr, possibly build some more Presearch nodes. You can see here, obviously, Presearch is one of the big winners this month. Presearch, Mysterium, and that EasyBackup Farm. That's quite a risky one though. So yeah, the most stable returns here are the Presearch and Mysterium nodes. So we'll see how it all looks next month. But thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.